How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We just got inflation numbers. We also have Elon Musk saying that the US is on a fast lane to bankruptcy. We also have some other big news in the market. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on that bell notification so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if this has you feeling bullish or bearish, there's a link underneath the video to Margex where you can start trading cryptocurrency. We are seeing a bit of a push up. Can't see it on the daily, but we're seeing a bit of a push up after the inflation data just came out. So again, if you want to trade, there is a link to Margex, and you can get up to $5,000 in Caspa tokens if you start trading. There's also a link to CoinW as well, and you can get up to $15,000 worth of Bitcoin depending on how much you trade. There's a deposit, trade, and earn event there for new users. Caspa, though, you can get even if you are a prior user as well. So definitely check out those links underneath the video. Let's start here. Just some inflow data from yesterday. If you didn't see the video last night, we actually saw negative flows from GBTC, Fidelity, and IBIT. BlackRock sold some Bitcoin now. If you want to see my longer thoughts on that, you can see that video from last night, but it's still just interesting to hit on that they did have their second day of outflows ever, BlackRock, but they only sold 228 Bitcoin. So not that much, under $14 million for a $20 billion inflow ETF. That's not too bad. Now, some pretty nice news here. Morgan Stanley is actively selling Bitcoin ETFs to their clients, and Wells Fargo supposedly will join them next month. In September. That's two of the largest 6 banks in the US. Goldman City, JPM, Bank of America will have to join the party. We knew that Morgan Stanley was selling Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. We actually know too that they were getting in before they're selling to their clients. It came out that last quarter they had a couple $100 million, or maybe it was just $100 million. They had 9 figures in Bitcoin ETFs, and that was before they officially started talking to their clients about it. And now we know Wells Fargo is coming too. This is what we're hearing through the grapevine. The other banks will probably flip too. I mean, JP Morgan is already an authorized participant for the Bitcoin ETF, so it would not be surprising to see them kind of flip on what they've said before. Obviously, Jamie Dimon isn't the biggest fan of Bitcoin at the moment, but he does seem to be changing. Now, as you can see here, we have the PCE numbers. And like I said, Bitcoin is moving on this. It did a $500 pump. Now it's coming back down. But PCE came in at expectation, 0.2%. Year over year, it's 2.5%. The expectation is 2.5%. And then the core came in at expectation 2.2% versus the 0.2% expected. And the overall year over year is actually lower. So the expectation was 2.7% and it came in at 2.6%. Now, I didn't understand for a while, like years ago, why this would happen where we would get like 0.2% and the expectation was 0.2%, but yet the year over year expectation was off. And that's because they round, right? So just interesting to see that. Now let's actually look at PCE on a chart and we can see how it's fallen off over time. You can see we're just falling to this mid-2 range. So it was all the way up in the upper 5s at one point and went down, then came back up to the lower 5s. And now it's just been steadily like in this mid-2 range for the last year. Before that, it was in the upper 2 range. Sorry, not for a year. This is per month. So over the last 3 or 4 months, over the last quarter, it's been in this mid-2 range. Before that, it was in the upper 2 range. And before that, even, it was right below 3%. So it's just been like a steady stair step down for PCE, which is a leading indicator. So this is quite bullish for the market. And actually, I tweeted earlier, did we just get PCE leaked? Because the markets were looking green in the pre-market, and yeah, sometimes it seems like that stuff does get leaked. But as you can see here, the actual was 2.6%, which I think is quite bullish. It just really indicates that we will see that 25 basis point cut next meeting. Let's look at the Fed rate monitor tool, though, see if people are pricing in that 50 basis point cut. So, yeah, there's a 32% chance of a 50 basis point cut. We'll have to see how this continues over time, but it seems pretty likely we'll get 25 basis points. I don't think the Fed wants to freak out the market, worry anyone, making them think that the economy is worse than it is or anything like that. So I would expect that 25 basis point cut. Now, look at what Elon Musk is saying. He is actually commenting on Farzad's tweet. Did you know the U.S. government is planning on adding another $16 trillion to our national deficit through 2035? Page 141 is a source below. Now, I think this is, I think these are fake numbers, first of all. I think this would be very positive thinking that we'd only go up another $16 trillion. Right now, we're adding $1 trillion a quarter. So the thinking that they're going to cut the deficit from here, from my calculation, simple calculation, this might not happen. I'm just giving round numbers. We're at $4 trillion a year right now. That would be $40 trillion added to our already $35 trillion. So we're looking at more like maybe $75 trillion in debt, something like that. So a $40 trillion deficit over the next 10 years. I think this is wishful thinking that we're only going to be here. But let me know your thoughts, right? I think we're going to be at national debt of, like I said, maybe $75 trillion. But who knows? Obviously, when rates come down, that will help a little bit. Elon Musk says at current rates of government spending, America is in the fast lane to bankruptcy. Government overspending is what causes inflation. Exactly. The fact is, when inflation happens, that really affects people. So, yeah, people see government spending coming in and they think, oh, it's no big deal. We'll just kick the can down the road. But the fact is, the government does make an effort to try to combat that with either higher taxes or inflation, right? So that is a problem. Either you inflate the debt away or you inflate so that way, you can get more tax revenue and pay off that, or have that debt paid off, or be at a lower deficit, or make it so that the old debt isn't as important because now, you're bringing in more, right? So I don't know. This is going to be interesting to watch. That is why so many people feel very strongly about Bitcoin. They feel like the government is just screwing up and Bitcoin is the way out. Let me know your thoughts though. Do you think that is why a lot of people buy Bitcoin? Or do you think it's really just an investment and people just think it will go up short term or, longer term, but they're not really focused on the kind of properties. They're just number go up investors. Let me know your thoughts though. 67 days left before the U.S. election. U.S. stocks and Bitcoin often rise after a U.S. presidential election. This is because prices tend to reflect expectations of economic stimulus from the new administration. This is giga bullish. U.S. presidential elections, you can see each year. Yeah, the fact is too, we also see this is the time in Bitcoin where we're at a pretty good point in the cycle, right? Like this is the giga bull cycle of Bitcoin, and there could be other reasons that this happens too, but yeah, this is interesting to see. ROI usually explodes after presidential elections, or like right around presidential elections even. I don't think it's necessarily just tied to this. I think it's tied to other factors too. But yeah, that is very bullish. Let me know your thoughts though. If you do want to play some trades, like I said, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. Yeah, I'm glad that PCU came in pretty strong. Should see a decent day, but who knows with this market? Who knows what will happen next? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next.